Hey guys, I'm here live at the Portland International Raceway where our trip, 2-day trip, ended. This was with Chevrolet. They were letting us drive the pre-production version of the 2020 Chevy Bolt EV. And I'll make that video maybe probably with Tom in the next week or so, give you some of the impressions of the drive we had. They've flown us to Seattle. Oh, there's a jet fighter. And they've flown us to Seattle, and then we got into one of these. That beautiful blue one is mine. If you're following me on social media like Instagram, check it out. There's going to be some amazing pictures of this car with amazing Washington State nature and scenery. Is just really, really awesome. I'm glad I picked this color. Maybe it doesn't do it justice here on this live stream, but the pictures that you'll see on the E4 Electric on Instagram are going to be really, really awesome. So we flew to Seattle and we drove all the way to Portland, Oregon. Just amazing drive. Jesus, this thing is huge. Sorry, I went live as soon as jet fighters decided to just take off of the military base. But anyway, so this was a lot of fun. I mean, I've never driven a Bolt for this long of a drive, so that was fun. Nikki of Transport Evolve was here. She is a Bolt owner herself, so there was a lot of stuff that she was able to share. Hello, Melissa. How are you? I'm actually not really here to talk about the Bolt. I just have like 2 hours before my flight, so I figured I'll just go live and answer some questions, because I did not post a video today, because honestly guys, there was absolutely no news worth talking about. So I figured I'm just going to do it here. And by the way, just rented the whole thing for us here. As you can see, there's really nobody here. Look, nobody. So it's pretty cool. Hi Brad from Sydney, Australia. What's the event for? Ask Brizato. So this was for Chevy Bolt EV 2020, as you can see in the background right here, that we got to drive. There's not much change in terms of the way they look. They pretty much look the same. The grille up front is a little different. Brad says, when does the third quarter financial comes out? So yeah, we're going to talk about everything. So we can talk about Tesla as well. I believe that's in another week or so. But they already talked about the deliveries. Obviously, that was a little disappointing for most people. I wasn't. Any changes? Okay. This messages disappear really quickly because I'm just doing it on my phone right now, just so you know. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, and I'm wearing this cool Byton jacket. Obviously, this stream and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out their all-electric SUV called M-Byte. There is a link in the description of this video where you can reserve one. There's over 50,000 of people who reserve one, so check it out. It costs $0. I think there's no other electric car that you can reserve without putting any deposit down, so there's really no reason not to. Okay, so I'm gonna try to read some of your comments a little bit faster. So maybe you ask again, because I just see them and like boom, they disappear. But I have a couple of other events that I'm going to in the next few weeks. One of them is going to be a Rivian event. Another one is going to be LA Auto Show, and there's a lot of events there. Let's see. I'm going to compare it to Tesla. How was the charging infrastructure? So the charging infrastructure it's around. We did charge on the Electrify America station, which by the way had like half of the stalls non-functioning. Like they weren't like accepting the card reader, which is ridiculous because that issue should have been fixed in like 1992. And some of them just weren't connecting to cars. So and that has been an issue with the Electrify America chargers for a while now. So they really need to take care of that. But yeah, here, like I'm in Oregon, right? It's not California. There's still like Electrify America, EV, Go, and others are definitely, making their way here, but that obviously is not a priority. We did charge the Electrify America charger, and there were some EV Go chargers as well. So they're around, but you kind of had to plan your way around it. The max charge rate that I saw at basically at all this little bolts that were here. Oh, there's another bolt. Were 53 kilowatts. So, not super fast, not super slow. We only needed an extra, I think, 50 miles. So that took us about like 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes to charge. That's all we needed. So That's what we did. So it was pretty good. Um, yeah, the LA Auto Show. I mean, I know there will be a Ford unveiling, so I think I'm going to that event for sure. There will be Audi unveiling of another electric car, which is exciting, and I'm going to try to attend both of them. How does it compare to traveling in a Tesla? Asks Dominic. Um, so there are some things that I do like about Chevy. I have to say, like the regen button on the wheel, or you can see me doing it like on the wheel, and then obviously the little indicators on the mirror that there's somebody in your blind spot. So I like that. Overall, the ride was okay. I know a lot of people complain about the seats not being really comfortable. I was okay. I was a passenger for a while, and then I was a driver. So it was okay. Not much of a range anxiety because one of the things they extended the range by a little bit this year, and I think that's what Diraj is asking. Is there's very few differences, but the range is a little bit more. They put together, and I'm going to post this on my Instagram. You'll see the rear view mirror becomes a little display, and the camera from the back displays everything there. I'm not really sure if I like it, and it's not like a Chevy problem. It's just, I think, technology problem because we're all kind of used to what kind of focus our eyes need to have when we look at the rear view mirror, but you kind of had to refocus into something that's a little bit further away. So it actually made my eyes a little bit hurt, like I was hurting. So I had to switch back to a regular mirror. So you have a hard job, says Francis. Yes, I do have to say that part of the perks of being a journalist and an influencer, whatever you want to call it, is that you get to travel to all of these events that brands invite you to. But at the same time, as you probably, if you've been following me for the last year, you probably notice I travel a lot. This is my third trip in the last 5 weeks, and it's definitely not on your schedule. Like today, I had to get up 3 hours earlier than I usually do. So I'm sleepwalking right now. And then, of course, when I went to Frankfurt, and anytime I go to China or Europe, it takes a couple of weeks for this old man to recover, and then sometimes you have a trip next week. So there's some things that are a little bit tough, but it is really a lot of fun. A lot of these events, a lot of these brands put together events for us that are really, really cool. They're really entertaining, and you get to meet other people. But also, I've seen quite a few people, including Nikki from Transport Evolved here, that are already known, and it's really cool to hang out with them. So, which car do you prefer to buy between Bolt and Tesla Model 3? The low price, low range, or whatever, really? So, I think people who will buy a Bolt are the people who need a lot of trunk space, right? This is something that Model 3 just cannot compete with. And it is a lot of space. Like, if you're a hockey goalie like me and you need to use this car to go to a game, you just can't buy a Model 3, right? No matter what else you think. Now, I do know that some people don't like the way the Model 3 looks. I personally like the way it looks. I'm not a big fan of what the Bolt looks like, especially in the back, even though I am having it in my shot. I'm just going to walk around a little bit, guys. Sorry, and I know it's really sunny, so this is not the best quality video, but I just figured I'd rather just at least hang out with you for a little bit and tell you what's happening than just not make a video at all today. Yeah, so, but other than that, the incentives are going away for GM cars, just like they are for Teslas. Pretty much, I think they're only like a few months behind, 1 quarter behind. And probably the best bet is to ask people who just bought a Bolt and why they decided on that rather than the Model 3. It could be sometimes that people already have a certain connector in their garage and just changing it to a Tesla one. I know it's probably not the best excuse, but I have heard them before as well. But honestly, if I had to pick, and I don't have to worry about the trunk space or whatever, I would go with a Model 3. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, so the display in front is something that I like to have, so Bolt kind of has an advantage there. Let's see. Yes, that's why I booked Rivian R1S, said Diraj. Adim says $34,745,000 after federal tax credit plus as shown, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty much the price of the Bolt right now, the starting price. Now, I can tell you that out of all cars under out of all electric cars under 40 $40,000, this has the longest EPA range now, including the Model 3, because that one does not have as much of a range as the new 2020 Bolt. Um, let's see who. Oh, I can't see the comment. I think you asked about charging. I already said the charging rate was about 53 kilowatts at the Electrify America, and I think they're limited to 55, so pretty much was going full speed, but we were pretty low. We only had like 8 miles when we got to the charger. So okay, there you go. James says, I love my Bolt, purchased last November. It's a great car, no problems, no complaints, super range, attainable in California. Maybe you can share with us why you decided on a Bolt over Model 3. I think that's why people are kind of asking. Relatively pretty fair question, I think. So it's pretty quiet. To be honest with you, I think it's basically Chevy crew right now and me. I requested a flight that would be the one of the later flights, and so that's why I'm kind of hanging out here with you guys. And everybody else pretty much left, and I think they're just about. Let's see. I'm gonna see what time it is. Oh, I can't do it with my arm. Sorry if camera shakes. Okay, it's 3:30, so I have about 20 more minutes, but I just kind of wanted to, again, get on here with you guys. Tony says, which is the new range, Alex? Alex has the same range. If anything, I'm an old man whose range probably is only going to decrease. But I got to tell you, I've been covering a lot of ground as far as, doing this events and stuff like that. This 5-6 events that I have. Just trying not to get run over by a gas car here. That I have within 2 or 3 months. So, yeah. Not too many new features, but I don't know if you guys are digging my new thumbnails. I feel like that's a good feature that I kind of figured out. My thumbnails are a little bit more simpler, I think, but also a little bit more colorful. So Christopher says, how did you learn miles instead of kilometers? Well, once I got here to America, like when I was 15, so really didn't have a good sense of miles versus kilometers. Sorry. Because I wasn't really driving when I was 15 in Russia, so it was kind of easy because it was kind of here. The only thing that I wasn't able to get used to is actually the Celsius versus Fahrenheit. I still do everything in Celsius. My thermostat, my cars, all of them have Celsius. Though I have a Volt, and I can't do Celsius in the Volt because if you actually reset the settings to the Celsius, they also resets to kilometers, which I don't really understand. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who watch me in Europe, they complain saying like, well, you say everything in miles and not kilometers. I did have an exception yesterday because I was comparing a Model 3 to the Volkswagen ID3, but oh, I got a super chat. Bruce, thank you so much. Forget about super chats. For coffee at the airport, great work, Alex. Thank you. Actually, that's where I'm gonna go now because they basically either gonna drive me to the airport or I'm just gonna have to Uber there myself at some point. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna have my dinner because I have like 2 or 3 hours to kill at the airport. So very sad Bolt is not sold in Europe, says Christopher. Yes, the wind is very loud. Sorry guys, it's just windy. I can go back into a car here. I'll go and chill in the car for a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I did grill them with some questions about it because they kind of were talking about how they were in Europe, with the Ampere E and everything. Let's see if this helps. Hold on, let me get into this car. All right, hopefully this is better as far as wind is concerned. Yeah, so they were talking about how, they were, had an Ampere E, but they don't have it anymore, and there are absolutely no plans for it. So yeah, and it's a shame because if anything, I think Bolt would do much better in Europe than they do here in the United States. I think this is one of the reasons Volkswagen decided to launch their ID3 in Europe only, at least for now. So love your show, says Ray. Thank you so much. Can you please go find a Prius so we can talk about something else? Something cool, says ASAC. Well, we're not talking about Bolt particularly. I'm just at the Bolt event. We can talk whatever you want. Jihars, I keep mispronouncing your name. Sorry, Jihraj, $20. Thank you so much. Canadian $20. Fiber with it on me. Very useful info. Thank you. I'm gonna assume it means something different, but thank you so much for super chat. I appreciate it. That will definitely go towards my dinner tonight that I'm having at the airport. I would buy Bolt if it existed. Says Christopher. Christopher? Let us know why you would buy Bolt. Let's say over a Model 3. I know in Europe Model 3 is more expensive as far as the base price is concerned, but nevertheless, just kind of curious why you would go with the Bolt versus Model 3 or many other cars like Kona EV or Hyundai Kona EV or Kia Niro EV and Nissan Leaf. There's so many of them now under $40,000. Why Bolt would be your choice? Definitely let us know. So, yeah, looking forward to races. I love my Bolt. The additional seat height lets my bad back and knee get in. Well, that's an interesting because a lot of people don't like the seats in the Bolt, but to you it's an advantage. That's pretty cool. Um, oh, dinner on me, said Hiraj. Okay, I appreciate that. Hey, Alex, are you coming to the Toronto Auto Shop next year? I don't know what that is, so I'm assuming no. But honestly, most of the time when I go somewhere, unless it's like a YouTuber conference, it's whenever somebody kind of brings me here, right? Like for example, Chevrolet flew me out here, put me in a hotel, and fed me and pampered me. So, but that's kind of normal for journalists. So that's how we fly around. Otherwise, it's not worth our expense, right? I can spend $2,000 on a trip. There's no way I can get it back making that money on one video, right? So it just doesn't make that much sense for us. So but I'm looking forward to going to LA Auto Show. That's one of the next destinations for me. Let's see, sorry, I missed a lot of these. Show us a little bit around, please. I have to finish this pretty soon. There's nothing new. You know what, I think I can show you one thing, which I think you will find it interesting. So let me turn this thing on, and I'm gonna turn this around. So look at the rear view mirror, right? So here's a regular rear view mirror. Here's me, and look, I can do this, and I can switch to the digital version. So this is essentially a monitor that gets the feed from the camera in the back. You have to refocus your eyes, just like I said, it kind of hurt my eyes, but boom, this is a regular one. You can see me, you can see my camera, and then boom, you can do the this. But everything else, honestly, here, let me switch it back. Everything else is pretty much the same. This is how it's always been. Not that many changes, and just like I said, there's pretty much no changes except for a little bit grill up front, but there's really nothing to talk about. Let's say why I bought Model Bolt. At any reasonable price was not available. Oh, I see. Model 3 was not available at any reasonable price, says James. Plus incentives, Sonoma Clean Power, state, and so forth. Okay, so I think this is a kind of a pricing thing. It just do much better in pricing, and I think that's what folks in Europe would be able to probably like Bolt better, because the pricing of a Model 3 starts at like 43,000 or so American dollars if you convert it. They should have changed the screen. The screen is pretty big, you know what I mean? Like, but it's big enough for me, bigger than the Volt. I can tell you that. Digital Wolf says I can do the same thing with my mirror on my 2019 Bolt. I have the Premier version, right? So this is a part of the Premier version. The rear view mirror is the same on the 2017, right? So this is not a new thing. Sorry if I sounded like it was a new thing. This is just a new thing that I found in the car that I've never experienced before. So that I should probably clarify that. So yeah, LA Auto Show. That's where I'm gonna try to go live a couple times. I know I haven't done this in a while, but the reason I'm also going live is, honestly, as you probably noticed, there was no video today, because as I was going through all of the news, I realized there was just no news that is worth talking about, and yeah, that doesn't happen very often. So Ben asks me, when will you be able to drive the M-Byte? Well, I already drove the M-Byte, and actually that's the featured video on my channel. Did they come up with any new trim or color? Yes, the color that I just showed you guys, as a matter of fact, you can see it right here. It is kind of a light blue. Follow me on E4 Electric on Instagram. I took amazing pictures. I think I already posted one of them. So go and look at my stories. I have that in there. The color is amazing. Um, so it's basically the same as 2019, but with a better range. Yes, and a couple of things, including a color and a little bit of a different grill. But yeah, it's essentially the same. I think the whole bigger point they were trying to make is that under $40,000 in the United States, it's a car that has the longest range. So, hey there from Israel, how are you? Good to have you, Yvonne. I think I'm one of the last ones here. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure like another Bolt just left so I'm just really just by myself here. But no, I see Chevy staff still there. So I do need to go to the bathroom before we wrap up. So what time is it right now? 3:42. All right, so in a few minutes I should probably do. Can you ask Chevy why so few updates for the Bolt? Why not do more on air updates? You know what? I grilled them with a lot of questions yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very happy that they weren't giving us answers, because I was also wondering about the are the seats any better? No, they're exactly the same. I know everybody asks the questions. They're exactly the same. So here you go. It's exactly the same deal. Yeah, they want to answer. Like I had questions about, like, for example, hey guys, you changed the chemistry of your battery a little bit to get an extra 10% or so out of the battery, but like, did you figure out how to make it cheaper so you can actually make money on this car? And they didn't want to answer that question, and a few other questions that I wanted to know, and a few other journalists wanted to know, they didn't answer. What is the range? Sorry if you already mentioned. It's 259, I believe now. Bolt would be awesome here in Europe. Yes, I agree with that. But anyway, so listen, I'm going to make a separate video about this. As a matter of fact, we're not even allowed to talk about the actual experience and test drive until Monday. So that's when I'm going to talk about it, and probably it's going to happen with Tom in our segment with Tom Malogny of Inside AB. So I just kind of wanted to hang out with you guys because I haven't done it, and I really miss doing live shows here on YouTube. As you know, I do live shows only on Patreon, which I kind of have to do because I don't know if you guys know, I'm now a full-time YouTuber. This is my full-time job. And if you want to support me and kind of being able for me to do all of this, please support me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/E4Electric. But as a perk, which you get there for like $5 a month, is I go live, and you can interact with me live like you do here on YouTube. It's just in its own little universe. So I appreciate those who are already doing that. And by the way, don't forget that we have a newsletter where we send out bonus stories every Saturday. The link is in the description of this video, but you can go to e4electric.com/VIP. Yeah, Tony says, so disappointing. Well, listen, you know what I say to this? Better is good. This car is better next year than it was this year. And I say that's some progress. But overall, yes, I wish they could do more. But also, I expect them to unveil another electric car relatively soon. So we will see. There's some progress definitely going to be made in the next couple of years for them. And I'm excited that at least they're doing it. The fact that they're inviting journalists and kind of trying to answer these questions for us, I think it's moving in the right direction. So, all right, guys, it's nice to hang out with you. I know I couldn't do it for too long, but I appreciate all the super chats for sure. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon as well. I gotta go because literally I'm the last person left, and this is the last car left here. And I still want to go to the bathroom. So, and they gotta drive me to the airport. Please follow me on Instagram. E4Electric, and everywhere really, Twitter, even TikTok. I'm E4Electric there. Thanks for hanging out with me. Brian says, find the nearest Chipotle. Alex, I will try to do my best. If they have one in the airport, I will definitely be there. Ray says, good night. Yes, it's actually only 4 o'clock here, but I'm so sleepy because I got up super early. But anyway, I'll try to do this maybe next week because I'm at this YouTuber convention in Los Angeles, and I'll have some time to live stream and hang out. So thank you so much, guys. I gotta go. Of course, I will see you next time. Looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.